Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance Wrestling. Here we are, Mr. Chance Michaels. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. February's almost done. This year's already moving at a clip, isn't it?
Oh yeah, dude. It's moving really
Already,
fast.
right? And I say that because this Saturday, March the 1st, we have the Elimination Chamber, the next stop on the road to WrestleMania. So we'll talk about that a little bit. So much has kind of been happening in the world of professional wrestling. But let's start with SmackDown. What do you say, my friend? Let's
Let's
talk
do
about
it.
that segment between The Rock and Cody Rhodes, which was probably, as you said, and I have to agree, one of the worst things I've ever seen The Rock do.
I was excited for it. I was with my kid, like, oh, he's like, Rock's coming. Oh, that'd be cool. Rock's always fun. Let's watch it. Maybe he'll have a match.
Yeah,
Maybe he'll beat somebody up. Either way, he's gonna say something cool. It's gonna be fun. Rock was entertaining as heck. And I
sure.
watched that thing. 30 minutes of it was disorganized. Cody, I don't know if they prepared him very well. I don't think he even knew what to say. Rock's gonna be all over the place. I mean, Rock writes his own promos. I get it. He's that good on the mic. That was horrible.
Yeah.
He came out there and announced WrestleMania in New Orleans. I get it. They're in New Orleans. And then he started talking, I want your soul. And just like he didn't want to wrestle Cody. Like, why even have him out there to do that? Like, why bring Cody in there?
It was
It was
just
just horrible.
it was just weird, man. Honestly, it started off with him being like thanking everybody, this and
Mm,
that, and then midway through, he became a heel,
yeah.
right? Like before even Cody came out, and then Cody comes out and this "I want your soul" nonsense. Like, you know what? It's compelling because we're talking about it. Maybe there's more to this than we realize. Maybe
I
there's
don't
more
think
to
so.
the. Well, I don't know.
And it's not just us. In the IWC, they love everything Cody does, and they've been loving The Rock, and they were even bashing on this. I don't see
No,
anybody saying positive about this.
no,
Nobody.
no, but I'm just trying to find something possible that we can take away from this that makes sense of it, right? Like we're all shitting on it continuously and rightfully so. None of it made sense. Like, why do you want to sell? What kind of nonsense is that? Like it makes zero sense right now. But that being said, maybe it ties into something we don't know until we see a bit more of it. But
Yeah.
the way they left it, yeah, it left a lot of questions in our mind. We're talking
It was,
about
and it was just a bad. It was badly
it, right?
written. It was
And
badly performed. Cody looked like a fish out of water. It just didn't have any
no, it
cohesiveness.
had
It was
no
just a bad
flow. It had
segment.
no consistency. And the guy I feel sorry for is a road dog because he didn't even have anything to do with it. He didn't write any of it, but people are blaming him.
And The Rock, it was way too long, almost 30 minutes. That, like,
Yeah,
bring that home, guys. It was
yeah.
horrible, uninspiring. This final boss stuff, I said it before. I think it's kind of corny. You're the final boss of what? You're not even wrestling. Who are you the final boss of
He's
what?
just the final boss because he's the board. He's on the board of TKO.
He's
This and
he's only
that.
on the board because he's friends with Ari. Like, I mean,
Exactly. I get that. But what I'm saying is that's how they're trying to play it, right? Like he comes on to SmackDown and he's making changes to the card. He's making changes to the structure of the show. I don't know if he is, but that's what they're saying
yeah,
he's
as I was
doing.
saying, yeah, yeah.
So that's how they're kind of selling him right now. It's like I'm this guy. But the reality is the more he does this, I do feel that he's just gonna lose his steam, man. Um, this
He
doesn't help.
definitely lost his steam after that performance.
Well, like I said, we have Elimination Chamber coming up this Saturday, so we'll find out if there's any more to this that we didn't get. Right, the fact that we're talking about it, the fact that people are upset about it, the fact that people are annoyed by it, maybe that's what they were trying to achieve.
I don't think one person with any credibility said that was good. I think 99% of people are all in agreement that was just god awful. And I don't know how they come back from that because that you just took a whole bunch of steam from Cody and Rock there. Cody didn't even know
Well,
what
I
to do.
mean, again, my hands are up in the air. I don't know. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
wait to see what happens on Saturday to find out. If there's anything else, and
We're
you
starting
know,
to see the cracks in the armor here with the whole honeymoon phase is over now for Ari and Triple H. We're starting to see bad quality shows. We're seeing bad segment after bad segment. We're starting to see, this kind of stuff that you've seen on SmackDown would never happen with Vince there. If it was that bad, he would have brought that thing home right away when it went on for half an hour and dragged out. So we're starting to see the honeymoon is over now. And
well, honeymoon was over a long time ago, in my opinion. But I
but I
mean,
mean, like the IWC is turning on them now. When they start doing that, it's not pretty. So
not my group, so I'm not too bothered by it. But yeah, I know what you're saying. All right, man. So that was basically SmackDown. I think that's the one takeaway that we have from it
I
tonight.
find SmackDown used to be my favorite, like in the last 3-4 years. I find SmackDown is almost unwatchable now. It's that bad right now.
Well, because
It's
they
it's
basically
horrible.
revert the roles again, right? At one point, Raw was everything, and SmackDown was the
But it
secondary
still
show.
should be at least enjoyable. It's not even
Well, I
enjoyable
get it,
anymore.
but when they moved to Fox, they made it a big deal. SmackDown was the show to be a part of,
Mm.
right? And Raw finally became the secondary show. With Netflix now, they've moved all their assets back
No,
over
I
again.
get it. I get what they're doing, but like that, you got to make the show better than that. That's unacceptable at this level, at this great of a company to throw a stinker like that week after week. So yeah, we'll see.
I want to say week after week, but that was just a bad segment.
I mean, the whole show was unwatchable. I couldn't even stand the show. I'm done with the show. It's just that bad.
Well, Raw was okay tonight. Average at best. I mean, for a go home show, that's the one thing I'm disappointed in. These go home shows are no longer feel like go home shows. You know what I
No, they're
mean?
not anymore.
It's just kind of like, okay, you just kind of left to kind of like, how does this make sense? Where
And
does
I
this
don't
fit
get
in?
why they're not doing a real go home show, because a go home show, you get a bunch of excitement, you get pumped up for the pay per view that's coming up. Now there's like, oh, it's the regular Raw. Make us excited to watch Elimination Chamber.
Exactly. Like, okay, for
You know?
example, we had Logan Paul open up the show tonight,
Mm-hmm.
and CM Punk came out. He slapped CM Punk in the face and ran
Oh,
away.
I want to see that segment.
Right? It was okay. It was fine. I mean, they worked really well together.
I said it before.
Um,
I think we're seeing Logan Paul versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. I think
I
that might
don't
be.
think I don't know if that's going to happen. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Who knows? But I mean, we'll talk about that
So
a little
Logan, so
later
Logan
on.
slapped Punk.
I think it's going to be Reigns, Punk, and Seth in a triple threat,
Could be.
right? I think we're looking. But then again, it's weird because
They're
tonight
throwing feelers out. Like I said, they're throwing feelers out there to see if
to see
Logan
what's
and
what.
have some chemistry. If they do, they're going to
Yeah,
go with that. I think right now, if I'm booking it, you do Logan and CM Punk. You got the popular guy, the good looking guy, the in shape guy versus the old grumpy miserable guy.
but if
They
that's
love.
the case, then Punk would probably go over.
Yeah, either way, it'd still be a good match and a good feud, right?
Possibly. Possibly. All right, man. Why don't we talk about the Elimination Chamber?
Yeah,
We
let's do it.
talked about everything else. Let's break it down. Let's make our predictions and get on our way here. Let's start with the women's Elimination Chamber. We have Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bailey, Naomi, and Roxanne Perez. The 6 women in this Elimination Chamber. Um,
What you
I'm gonna,
got?
I'm gonna pick Bianca.
You
I
know,
think realistically, it makes the most sense. Alexa hasn't been here long enough to really have enough steam. And the way it looks like it's playing out, I don't think Naomi and Bianca are going to have much of a future when Jade gets back. I have a feeling it's going to be Naomi that's going to be the one that caused her to miss all the time
yeah.
and beat her up and all that kind of jazz. And that leads to their match at WrestleMania. We haven't seen Bianca and Rhea fight. Perhaps
Hey,
on NXT. I think that's the match for WrestleMania. Rhea
I
versus
love Bianca. I always say she's my favorite woman wrestler. Now,
yeah.
saying that, I was thinking what you were thinking all day. Who am I going to pick? Bianca. Then I thought that seems too obvious. And who's coming back with all the buzz, all the fanfare? She's been around for I don't know how long since we've seen her. Is Alexa Bliss, and I
And
think
I
what
thought
a
about
way to
that
bring her
too.
back, get her
No, for
over, give
sure.
her a big push into WrestleMania, catapult her into a championship match. So I'm thinking I want Bianca to win, but I'm thinking Alexa Bliss is going to take it just for the reasons that I've
Dude,
stated.
honestly, my personal pick, if I pick with my heart, I'm picking Alexa as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
No,
just
I mean I'm picking Bianca. If I'm picking,
yeah, we're both picking Bianca.
look at so if I'm booking the show, if I'm Triple H, I'm booking Bianca to win. But
That's
I'm
what I'm
not
saying.
booking the show, so I'm thinking Alexa Bliss is going to win because she came back. She's got all the hype. She's got all this buzz behind her, and they're going to catapult her to WrestleMania.
Okay, so
A new star.
Your pick is Alexa.
My pick is Alexa.
Okay, I'm picking Bianca.
Yeah.
If I'm picking with my heart, I would have gone with Alexa too.
Yeah.
My reasoning for not picking Alexa is the fact that she's just come back, and I don't know if that's a spot for her to be right now in terms of just getting back into the flow of it all.
And that's exactly why I'm picking her, because I think they want to catapult her fresh. Just came back, all the hype, all the buzz, give her a chance. That's what I'm thinking. But who knows?
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm looking at this, and honestly, I can see Bailey and Roxanne eliminating one another or one eliminating the other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your match at WrestleMania as well at some point, because these two have kind of been going back and forth, and beyond, Bailey's been doing stuff on NXT. She's probably one of the busiest women wrestlers right now in the company. She's
Yeah.
been on SmackDown, she's on Raw, she's on NXT, she's everywhere right now. So I think that's the direction. But yeah, I think Bianca versus Rhea is probably the match to make.
It would be a good match.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go to the men's chamber match here. Or actually, you know what? Before we go there, let's talk about the two single matches that are happening, or the two regular matches. We have Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus going up against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae in a women's tag team match. It's really simple to pick Tiff and Trish here just because they're in Toronto.
Yeah, you'd have to think that to get the buzz. And the thing about Trish, she's on what, 50, late 40s. She still works really well. She's still in great shape. She still
Be
wrestles
honest, man,
really
I
well.
think she looks better now than she did when she came back and when she was in all her yoga phase. She looked too skinny.
Yeah.
Now she's put a little bit of meat back on. She looks a bit fuller, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
She looks still great. Don't get me wrong, but she's just her form is filled out and she looks better again.
Yeah.
She almost
I'm
looks
with you
sick.
on this one, Stratton. She's young, she's hot in the company. I don't mean it looks wise. And Trish obviously is in Toronto. She's getting older. How many more matches Trish have left? Probably not many. So they got to give her the spot here.
No.
Tiffany and Trish all the way. But if I'm booking, I give it to Nia and Candice LeRae. I'm a big fan of Nia Jax because there's not that many big women wrestlers. They're all about the same size. So I like when Nia comes in and starts beating the crap out of them all because it's nice to see a change.
No, for sure, for sure. All right, KO versus Sammy in an unsanctioned match. Um,
So what's an unsanctioned match? Anything goes?
Well, it's basically unsanctioned. WWE is not held responsible for anything that happens to anybody. One of those kind of deals, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're completely responsible, but just for storyline purposes, this is a match that we're not sanctioning. If anything happens to you guys, we're not held responsible, sort of a deal. I don't know. I really don't know who to pick here. Sammy's been on a bit of a losing streak. KO's coming off a losing streak. I mean, me personally, I think KO should win.
Yeah, this one's really hard to call because, like you just said, they both just lost recently. It's going to be a good match. They're going to bleed.
Oh yeah,
fall off tables, go through, smash themselves in the head of chairs. Like it's basically a hardcore match.
It basically is.
Without calling it a hardcore match. This one is 50-50. I mean, you could give it to Sammy, you gave it to Kevin, and either way, you couldn't go wrong.
It's just weird because we don't know what direction either one of these guys, if they'll even be on WrestleMania at this point, based on where they're at right now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like I don't know. I'm picking KO just to keep him going because that savage side of him is just good. He loses again. He loses that momentum. Sammy really doesn't have anything going on right now.
Yeah, and that's why I'm kind of leaning towards Sammy, just because you said he keeps losing all the time. He's got nothing going on. So if he can beat his good buddy in a hardcore match, the match's going to be a good match, no matter who wins. It's still going to be a good match, and then he can catapult them into some sort of match at WrestleMania, whether it's a tag match, whether it's a ladder.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm going to go with Sammy here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kevin.
But this one's the hardest one to call, I think.
It's 50-50. Yeah. Which is kind of nice to have a problem with. You know what I mean?
It is.
That's a good problem for us when we don't know. All right.
Exactly.
The men's chamber, finally, Cena, Punk, Rollins, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest. And I guess because of all the spoilers and the things that we kind of know, this and that, it's pointing more and more that Cena's going to win and go up against Cody here.
Which could be why Rock has tried to turn Cody bad, right?
Well, I mean, it would make more sense to have more of a heel Cody going up against John Cena to make it more memorable. If you have two faces that are humble and trying to pat each other on the back and help each other up each time they knock each other down, it's not going to make for a good match, right?
Yeah.
And, like we talked about off the air, as much as I want to go to WrestleMania, as much as I want to go to as close as it is to us, figuratively speaking, in terms of location, it's just not worth it. I'm just looking at
for the price that Ari's charging. It's not.
It's not
outrageous.
Right? And that's nothing against Jay or Gunther. It's nothing against John Cena or anyone. What I don't find anything compelling about the rosters or anything that makes me say that I want to spend upwards of $7,000 for one weekend.
No. And you know what? The fact that you're even saying that, the fact that it costs that much just to get into WrestleMania and do the Raw, the SmackDown, the Fan Expo, Hall of Fame, and all that. Ari's outpriced the fans. He's making a big mistake. All this stuff, the way Triple H is booking these shows, the way Ari's raising these prices up, it's all going to backfire on them. And you can slowly see it coming.
No, it's coming. It's coming, right? I mean,
and it's outrageous.
Well,
$1,600 to get into WrestleMania?
That's $1,500 just for Mania. Forget SmackDown, forget Raw, forget NXT, forget the fan thing, right? You throw those ticket prices in, then you're looking at about $1,500. Let's just say all the shows combined, you're looking at maybe $4,000 to $5,000 just to go to the shows.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not including airfare. That's not including hotel. Hey, guess what, Chance? We haven't eaten yet.
I know.
We haven't bought any merch.
I know. It's crazy. It's keeping kids out of the shows.
It's really, really asinine, and it's just it's really unfortunate that they're doing it this way. You know,
and it'll sell out. So Ferrari is like, "Oh, I sold it out, so who cares?" That's the mentality. And I get that, but it's not.
Yeah, no, I get that. But the only way it's going to change is if people actually stand together and say no more. Like this is
never going to change because we're selling it out. He doesn't care. You don't want to go. Well, this guy went.
No, that's what I mean. It's got something like that has to happen in order for it to kind of make some sense to these people, because they're just outpricing everybody. Like, who can go to these things?
Not many, dude. Not
right.
Many.
And the people that will be at that show who have the money aren't even the wrestling fans.
I know.
And that's what sucks.
It's going to hit them in the ratings and stuff. It's all going to snowball up, right? So.
Right. So I'm saying Cena's going to take that match.
Yeah, it's almost too obvious. I would have said Punk, but I'm thinking Punk's going to go against Logan.
And I think, and Punk Rollins, because there's just so much there. I mean,
it has to be John Cena versus Cody,
right?
And even because the story itself writes itself. Even if John Cena doesn't win, the fact that he's going to want to beat Ric Flair's record.
Yeah.
Last 2 years was Cody's story, and now this year it's John Cena's story. So it has to be John Cena to win it.
Right.
It's not going to be Punk. It's definitely not going to be Drew. It's John Cena going to win it, and I don't blame him. I would give it to him too.
All right, let's have a little fun here. So we've kind of picked our winners for these matches, but let's go back to the ladies' chamber. Who would you select as your dark pick? Six ladies.
Bianca.
Let me read them back to you again. We're looking at Liv, Bianca, Alexa, Bayley, Naomi, and Roxanne.
Yeah, I'm picking Alexa to win, but my second runner-up dark pick would be Bianca.
Okay, so I picked Bianca, and my dark horse, I'm going to go out on a limb here just because of how much. Yeah, you know what? Let's have fun. I'm going to go Roxanne.
It could be. They got to do something. There's got to be a surprise or something. If something's going to happen with Rock and Cody, I think Cody will say, "Okay, I'm going to sell my soul to you for a little bit." And
right. And then in the men's chamber, who do you have as your dark horse? Cena, Punk. Well, we both picked Cena. Punk, Rollins, Paul, Drew, or Priest.
Dark horse is, I'm picking John Cena, but dark horse is going to be Punk. But it's not going to be. But if I had to say, okay, not John Cena, I'd say Punk, because Punk and Cody writes itself. But Punk's going against Logan Paul.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Rollins.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Rollins only because of the history that these guys have had already. And if you think about it, the one key element here that everyone seems to be upset about is the fact that Cody helped Roman after everything. And that totally makes sense. If you think about it, he alienated Rollins. He alienated Punk. He alienated KO. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many ways to look at this, right? But I think Rollins would be a good one too, because I mean, it's not even a rubber match. Every time he's fought him since he's come back, he's lost. Rollins has not beat Cody.
Yeah. You know, this is like, if you're going to bring John Cena back, it's like having the Hogan thing. You got to put him in the main event, right? So there's no other way. You have to give it to John Cena. I think if they don't, it's a mistake.
Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, also, we have that segment. I don't know where it's going to fit in. I hope it's not super long like it was on SmackDown, but Cody will answer The Rock. Will he sell him his soul? I don't know. I don't even know how that works or what that would entail.
It's going to be, it already started off bad. It's going to be really corny and really cheesy.
Yeah.
So yeah, my prediction for WrestleMania card, we're going to see Logan and CM Punk because that writes itself. These so much complete opposite guys, and we're going to see AJ Styles and Braun Breaker. That's how it's going to go.
I think we're going to see AJ versus Finn.
I think it's going to be Braun, but we'll see.
And I think Braun will face Logan.
No, that wouldn't be good. That wouldn't work. Braun can't talk.
Well, let's see, man.
Logan and Punk. It's Logan and Punk. I'm most positive.
All right, let's think about that. All right, anything in the world of AEW catch your fancy this week?
No, not really. I mean, the biggest news is that Tony Khan came out and said Shane wanted to buy equity in AEW and wanted some creative control, which obviously Tony Khan needs. And then Tony Khan just ghosted and never got back to him. And he's. And I don't like how Tony's leaking that kind of information. There's a private meeting. Obviously, didn't let Shane buy in because obviously Vinny sent him. But Tony leaked that out, and that's the biggest story of it all.
Tony's a mark.
Mm-hmm.
Tony is proving time and time again that he has no concept or clue of what he's doing in any form. You know, I mean, I predict that AEW goes bankrupt in the next couple of years.
I don't think so. They got some good TV deals and stuff.
Well, no, I really do. I really do, because the way they're moving, the way their things are going, the way these ticket sales are going, at some point the money's going to run out, man. You can't, like, they cannot be. They have to be in the red. They have to be bleeding profusely.
No, because they got a good TV contract, so they're doing all right.
They get a TV contract, but if no one's viewing it or tuning in, it doesn't really matter.
They're still getting 800,000 people for Dynamite and stuff, which is not bad for a TV show nowadays. But you know, you got that MJF and Hangman Page. You got some good chemistry going on. They're out in the ring. They're kind of good promos.
No,
so
they do. That. They do. I mean, that's probably the one aspect of it. But I mean, they're not.
And I enjoy. The Hurt. What do they call themselves now? The Hurt Locker.
The Hurt Locker.
Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, the Hurt Syndicate. But even then, now, in my opinion, Bobby Lashley and those guys are just in the mix. There's nothing standing out about them that makes them special.
Yeah, I'll say one thing, man. Watching SmackDown and watching Dynamite this week, I'm just thinking to myself, how can Tony Khan and Triple H sit there and watch this show and legitimately look in the camera and tell them they're giving their best and they're putting on a good product? Because Dynamite wasn't great and SmackDown absolutely was so bad.
Well, you know what, though?
I don't know what's going on here.
I'll say this. I agree with you, but I will also say this, man. I mean, it's like football, basketball. You can only blame the coach so much. The guys that go out there still have to do their best as well. And if they're not performing to their top of their capabilities as well, so I mean, it takes your hands to clap, right? Yeah. One guy books, but if those guys are going to pull crap like The Rock,
well, the problem is with people like Tony Khan and Triple H, you give these guys so much freedom, and you see what happens when they have all the freedom. They can't cut the great promos. They're doing sloppy commentating, so many botches all the time. So it's like, come on, guys, get control of your roster. They don't fear Tony Khan and Triple H. Hey, it's cool guys. Like, Dad's gone. Here's the older, cool, hip brother. We do what we want. Party all night, drink all night. And you're seeing it now. And they gotta do something better.
Well, it's not the way we want to do a show like this, because it is a go-home show. And, I usually like to end with a bit more excitement, but there's really no excitement here today, man. I'm not feeling it. I'm sorry.
Were they calling it a go-home show today?
They don't even call it a go home.
That's what I mean. So I don't think
you know what I mean? I'm calling it a go home show because of where I grew up and watching, and the way it was.
Those days are done, dude. They're not. Every show is pretty much the same, and they're not trying to make any show more exciting than the last, except for the Raw debut on Netflix, which was great. Other than that, it's just kind of went.
Yeah, but dude, even that wasn't even great. If you think about it in hindsight, it wasn't that great of a show.
No, it's the best show they've done in a while, though.
No, I disagree. It wasn't like, it was a good show. Don't get me wrong, it was a good show, but it wasn't spectacular. Nothing really stood out. Like, you know what I mean? What do you remember from that show now?
Well, I mean,
on the spot, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the number one thing about the show was Hogan getting booed. We can't even talk about the matches, right? Hogan got booed. That's all we talk about. I mean, Reigns came out. They had the big dogs there.
Yeah, they did.
Reigns solo was a good. Was it Reigns solo?
I get it. Yeah, Reigns solo for the Ulavala.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I think we're gonna get Jacob versus Solo at Mania.
Oh, that's a stinker.
I don't know. It should be a fun match, man. I mean, depending on who, if the question remains, who's the face in that feud? Because right now they're both heels.
Probably Jacob.
I don't know. I think it'd be Solo.
And you're going to see in Elimination Chamber, you're going to see either Punk or Logan's going to screw each other up, and they're deaf. I'm 95% sure those guys are having a match. You got too much They're too good at talking. They gotta have this match. They don't put this match together, they're making a big mistake.
Well,
Don't matter who wins, just the promos they can cut.
go back and watch the start of the show. It was
I'm
a
going
good
to
promo. It was good. I enjoyed it. They interacted really, really well together.
Did Punk hit him back?
Logan slapped him and ran away.
Okay, good. See, they're already creating that slappy and run the heel.
Yeah, yeah. But he actually either Punk bit his lip or he had a pack in his mouth. He had blood in his mouth after.
Okay.
So, he had one of those kind of situations. So, and it didn't look like a working slap, to be fair.
Yeah, but I don't mind that because it builds some realism. It makes you invest in that. Right? It's like, okay, these guys, they don't like each other. They probably don't.
No, they don't. And then, speaking of Punk, he's getting sued by Dolph Ziggler's little brother.
For what?
For his AW shit, saying that Punk, because of Punk, he didn't get opportunities and things like that.
Who is Dolph Ziggler's little brother? Who is he?
His little brother, I can't remember his name. Well, he's on TNA too now. He was in AEW as well. Now he's moved over to TNA. So, yeah, apparently there's some lawsuit against Punk from them stemming from the AEW days. You're
not getting work, Dolph Ziggler's brother, because we don't even know who you are. It's not because what Punk says. If you're good, you're going to get booked. It's not because Punk said all these things about the fight and trash AEW. If you're good, you're getting booked. We don't even know. Like, I hadn't even heard of the guy. So that goes to show you.
Yeah.
Trying to get a couple bucks out of the guy. Much exactly. I don't like Punk. He's not in the wrong in this one.
No, I don't think the Punk was wrong in any of things, to be fair. But
well, you can't strike a guy. You're not supposed to assault somebody backstage, but I get it.
That's the backstage, though, man. Shit happens back there. It all happens all the time. I mean,
as soon as they had that press conference and Punk was insulting the company in AEW, Tony Khan should rip the mic out of his hands to get the hell off the stage. You're out of here, but he didn't. So that right there, let Punk run rampant.
That was the day I started losing respect for Tony Khan, because you just look at his face. He looks like he just looked handicapped. I don't know how else to say it, man. Just to say it's the way his face was contorted. Like he just looked like a special needs kid.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look at Tony Khan, I think he has special needs, man.
He just needs to get somebody there a little more with a little bit more authority and that can run the show. And if you want to be the booker, stay back and don't got to be at the boys all the time and let somebody else control it.
And he had the guy to do it, and he fucking just made all that noise public. Right?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't. I think he knew that. Okay, you're here. Where's Daddy? What's Daddy going to tell you what to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if Daddy's telling him what to do, maybe AW would
be a damn good
much
thing.
Better company.
Oh hell yeah, it would be.
Right.
Absolutely. And so now, one more thing before we wrap this up, guys like Conrad Thompson, they're trying to stir the pot, saying, "Oh, Vince is setting a wrestling company up because he's hiring former cameramen that are from WWE." No, that's not what he's doing. He's hiring former WWE cameramen and wrestling camera because they're good cameramen and they can work any kind of film. It's not to build wrestling; it's to do his production studio.
They have the chemistry together. They know what Vince likes. They know how Vince works. Exactly. They know what's what. So it's really easy for them to slide in there and just pick up where they left off in whatever direction.
And some of the WWE cameramen are some of the best cameramen in the world.
Yeah, no, 100%. But yeah, okay. I think we've covered everything we need to cover here, man. We have Elimination Chamber this Saturday. Looking forward to it. It should be fun. It's in Toronto. Crowd's usually kind of.
Oh, they'll be hot for it.
The crowd's usually hot for it. You've been to Elimination Chamber. You've seen the setup. Why don't you tell us about it if you're there live? Like, how big is that elimination?
It's massive. Right? No matter where you sit in the thing, it's a great structure. It's a genius idea by Vince McMahon again to create something. So this looks like.
What's the view like? If you're not watching the screen, what's the view like if you're actually looking at it?
It's great because it's so you can see right through no matter where you are.
You can see through it.
You can see through it perfectly. It's a great setup. It's easy on the eyes.
Okay.
It looks really. You don't realize how massive it is until you're actually there. It's pretty huge. It's impressive structure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got 6 guys in there, 4 corners. Yeah, it totally makes sense. Yeah. So
it's cool.
I wonder how many rows they have to eliminate to put that in there, though.
I'm not sure on that, but
because you have the ring and it has to go out further. So interesting. All right, brother man. Let's wrap this up and call it a day. The Elimination Chamber, one of the last few stops before WrestleMania. But after this, we still got about a month and a half to build up WrestleMania. So anything can happen, anything can change as we go along, right?
Yep.
So that's it, man. All right, brother man. Thank you so much. This has been fun. I apologize. My enthusiasm isn't as hot right now for this, but maybe that will change after Saturday.
I hope they put on a good show. I mean, Elimination Chamber is it's a fun event. So get up some surprises, some good action in the ring, and away we go to WrestleMania.
Well, if nothing else, we'll know what the other two title matches are for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right? We'll walk out of there with at least 4 more matches, 2 more matches, which gives us a total of 4 that we'll know about.
Yeah.
Right. So, all right. I'm Bobby Sampson. He's Mr. Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great AC/DC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you, everybody. It is the year 2025. The mantra: patience, hard work, and faith. If you have those 3 elements working for you, just like a tripod, if everything's balanced, things will work your way. The hardest thing out of all of it is patience. So remember, work hard, have faith, and most importantly, have patience, because nothing happens overnight. Rome was not built overnight. Hell, God, it took him 7 days to build the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if that's what you believe in and whatnot. So I mean, everything takes time. So guys, gals, do not listen to the naysayers, the non-believers. If you are passionate about something, go get it, fight for it, work hard for it, and it will come to you. It may not come overnight. You may stumble, you may fall, but sometimes you got to fall in order to get back up and achieve your goals. So never give up. Samp and Chance are with you. Have a great week, everybody. Talk to you soon.